welcome back. Ryan Walters here in the K-League United studio bunker with Paul Neitz. So, if you watched our first segment, thank you for coming back. If you did not, we talked about some notable transfers, talked about kits a little bit, talked about our supporters section in the series, all sorts of good things that we've got going on during some things that we can do during the off season.
Indeed,
can highlight these things to get you ready for the new season. So, jumping in because we need to get out the door soon to get to our own hosted tournament at Retro Game Bar. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Along with fixtures, we also have the 16 teams for today's tournament in here. We're going to be drawing the groups very soon. So if you're watching for the group draw, stay tuned. We're going to do this at the very end, which will be in maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So
bear with us. Patience is a virtue.
Yeah, patience is a virtue. And soon you'll learn which one of us you can thoroughly beat in FIFA.
Yeah.
Very soon. And I mean thoroughly. It was not good for me last time.
I scored a goal last time. Actually, I scored, I think, 3. I didn't win a game, mind you, but I scored 3 goals, which for me is a victory. This
is the bar where we play. So if you're coming to the FIFA tournament today, or you want to sign up for one in the future and you play against us, things are probably going to go well for you.
Yeah, so stay tuned. If you draw me especially, you are considered to be very lucky. It's a guaranteed 3 points for you. So
usually. Unless I'm playing as the Junham Dragons, in which case I punch above my weight a little bit.
Yeah.
Just like the plucky dragons do. Anyway,
yes,
let's get into it. The FIFA tournament is today, obviously, but also there is another match on tonight.
There is a friendly game between the Korean Republic and Moldova. It will be at 10 p.m. tonight, Korea time. It's a very K-League heavy squad. Yep. To my count, roughly 16 players. Obviously, because Shin Tae-yong doesn't have the luxury of calling up the European-based players.
Not an official FIFA window match. That's
yes. Right. So it'll be on TV if you're in Korea. I'm sure if you want to watch it, you'll find a means to watch it if you're not in Korea. But yeah, our very own Steve Price has touched on all 3 of the friendlies that Korea will play over the next week. They have Moldova tonight, as I said, and then on Tuesday, the 30th, which will be at the same time that we are going to be in Suwon for the ACL.
Yes.
They play Jamaica at 8 p.m, again, Korea time. And then on the 3rd of February, they play Latvia, and that'll be at 11:30 kickoff. So again, Steve Price, our Korean national team columnist, has touched on all this in great detail on our site. So if you want to read more about this, which you should do because it's very interesting, then please visit KLeagueUnited.com.
Yeah, all that's over there. And I think Steve touches on this, and I think it's important to note before moving on. Don't read into the results of these games too much. These are not necessarily about even fluidity within the squad. This is about these players kind of just getting used to the national team setup, and a lot of them are auditioning to see if they're going to make the trip to Russia. So look for individual performances, certainly, but I'm not getting too hung up on the results of these.
Well, to me, it'd be about defensive cohesion, because the defensive aspect of the Korean national team will most likely come from K-League teams. Probably Jumbuk back 4, if we're honest.
Basically.
So,
at least 3 out of them.
Yeah. So I will be looking to see how they can forge a relationship heading into the World Cup. But the results, they are against some tough opposition, like Jamaica, as you will testify, being the US fan, that's no easy fixture against Jamaica.
Playing in CONCACAF, Jamaica, they don't win a ton of high-profile games, but they're right there in a lot of them. They did really well in the Gold Cup, which is the North American equivalent of Euros. They did well in that last time out. They're a strong team. They're gonna give them a real physical challenge.
Yeah,
they are a very physical team, as is the nature in CONCACAF. So,
So definitely winnable, but by no means a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, and hopefully should be some fun ones.
Yeah, surely.
So, those are on tonight. Also, before moving on, we wanted to touch on the AFC U23s, I believe.
Yes, we were hoping that Korea would get to the final and even go on and win it, but they got knocked out in the semis against Uzbekistan, who looked really strong. FC Seoul's
recent signing.
No, yes, but he played the centre back Huang. I forgot his name. I thought Hwang Hyun-soo.
Yeah,
he scored a header to equalise for Korea, but then it was Pakistan. It was like men against boys actually.
Yeah.
I watched the game and Korea just lacked a little bit of nous. They were overrun a little bit, and obviously it's a young tournament, but Uzbekistan just looked like a bit more mature.
Well, unfortunately, that's a bit of a theme with the youth teams. You know, we were at the U20 World Cup a lot, and I think the talent is unquestionably there for the U23s and the U20s. But when it comes to performing when there's a lot of pressure on, the teams aren't there yet.
Yeah.
I think the senior national team, they do all right in that instance, but the youth teams are still really struggling with the weight of the moment, I think.
Yeah, which is why I think these tournaments are going to be beneficial in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting tournament experience can only benefit them when they, hopefully, if they do get to play for the national team, the full team.
So I'm going to check real quick. The championship is on today, and it starts at 5 o'clock local time, and it is Vietnam versus Uzbekistan. So if you want to watch that, I think it might be streaming on the AFC's YouTube channel. So you'll want to check into that. Otherwise, for more coverage of Korea U23s, the Tavern of the Taeguk Warriors did a really good job covering that as usual. So I'd recommend hopping over on their site for more coverage of that if you're interested. All right.
Yes.
So, again, the group draw for FIFA is coming up. Don't worry. But first, we got to talk about K-League.
Yes.
So the fixtures are out.
Yeah.
So before hopping into what's going to be our top 10 our top teams prediction through 10 rounds, real quick, opening weekend. Do you have the fixtures handy?
I do. Yes. The opening weekend actually begins on a Thursday.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so
for a holiday.
Yeah, because the 1st of March is a holiday in Korea every year, regardless of what day it is. So on the Thursday, the K-League have quite wisely given the teams that are involved in the ACL, Asian Champions League, given them a little bit more time to prepare.
And it's smart to start on a holiday.
Yeah.
People have the day off. A lot of folks are going to be sitting at home, have them watch on TV, or people want something to do.
Go to the
stadium.
Go to the stadium, yeah. So all the ACL teams are at home, which means that we have Seoul Blue Wings against Jeonnam Dragons, if you can see the scarf just there, which I'll be at. I'm sure you'll be at as well. In the away end.
Quite happy to have them up north, yeah.
And then we have what is essentially the Korean Super Cup, but it's not because it's just a league fixture. It's Jeonbuk Hyundai, i.e. the champions, are playing against Ulsan Hyundai, the FA Cup winners, the Hyundai Derby, which nobody likes to say because it's cheesy. Yeah, so a big game there. And then what I quite like this actually is that FC Seoul, because they're not in the ACL this year, the K-League have made them feel as if they are, by playing on the day when all the other teams are playing, because they're playing away to Jeju.
Yeah.
So they get to fly on a plane. They can pretend they're going out of the country for an ACL game, and they're going to
be spending the night in the hotel.
Yeah.
All those team bonding moments.
Could wear their last year's ACL kit if they want to feel like they are actually playing on the continent. But yeah, they play Jeju United.
I think there are a lot of those left over.
Yes,
I don't think too
possibly.
many of those flew off the shelves. Yeah, so that's the Thursday, and then that weekend, the rest of the teams are getting underway.
Yeah, on the Saturday, the 3rd of March, Pohang Steelers are at home to Daegu. So that will likely be Connor Chapman's debut for Pohang, touch wood. And then Gangwon are at home to Incheon United. So yes, another Australian will probably be making his debut for Gangwon in that one. The next day, on the Sunday, well, this is just the K-League 1 fixtures, by the way. On the 4th of March, the Sunday, Gyeongnam, back in the top tier, are hosting Sangju. So a very winnable first game for them.
Yeah.
Sangju obviously have got a new batch of recruits in, but
a good batch too.
Yeah, a decent batch of recruits in. But if you are going to play anybody on your first game of the season, be at home to a team that are most likely going to finish in the bottom half of the table.
Well, the team that was in the relegation playoff last year.
Yeah.
I think, we spend a lot of time sometimes talking about things that K-League doesn't necessarily do well. The matchups and the scheduling for this opening weekend,
very good.
Very well done.
Yeah.
I think every team is matched up, so it should be an interesting match. They're pretty close. There's storylines for a lot of them. K-League did really well with their opening fixtures this year. I think.
definitely.
And which one of them are you looking forward to the most?
It will be Suwon Blue Wings against Jeonnam Dragons because there'll be debuts for a lot of Suwon's new recruits, particularly Dayan.
Yep.
Obviously, he'll make his debut, I assume, in the ACL playoff on Tuesday. Yep. But league debut, then yes, I'm sure that'll be his first league start for Suwon. So that'll be one I'll be going to because it's quite close.
It's very close.
Suwon's close to Seoul. But obviously the big one, I suppose you could say, is the champions against last year's FA Cup winners. So I would quite like to see that game as a standalone game, not a league game. Actual Super Cup. Have a K-League Super Cup.
Agree wholeheartedly. I think we've talked about this before off camera, but I think it's one of the instances where marketing is not coming through strong enough. Get a trophy, have a company sponsor it, call it the SK Cup or whatever.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
And that's the first game every year. Get people excited. Do shows from that city for a week leading up to it. Just build some momentum.
Yeah. So that'll be an interesting game. It'll be good to see quite how good Jeonbuk have become, even more so than last year, and also how Ulsan have improved from last year, because in the head-to-head game, I'm not sure they did all that well against Jeonbuk, and obviously they just about finished fourth.
Yeah,
kind of fell off a cliff after the split last year, Ulsan. So it'll be interesting to see how they do against the heavyweights that are Jeonbuk Hyundai. So those are my picks for the K1.
For K1, yeah, and I would agree. And we got our Scott Whitelock, who again wasn't able to make it today because of a last-minute failed physical before we took the field. So his highlights are obviously Jeonbuk versus Ulsan. He wants to see how the champions are performing, see how Thiago and Adriano are playing together. Jeju versus Seoul, because as a typical Suwon fan might say, he wants to see just how bad Seoul are going to be this year. And I'll touch on this in my season preview for them, and we'll talk about it in our full-on preview. But and we'll touch on it in this, where we think the teams are going to be after 10 rounds. But Seoul, we'll see.
Doesn't look good, does it?
So that's K1.
Yes.
For K-League 2.
Yeah, K-League 2 begins on the Saturday, and we have, if you bear with me a minute, Busan I Park are at home to Songnam FC. So that's the reverse from last year.
Yes.
This time Songnam make the trip to the Gudok in Busan. So two teams that you would expect to be in and around the playoff or the promotion hunt for this season. Question marks over Songnam because of the lack of financial clout that they now have. Even worse than last year, they've had their budget slashed a little bit. But still, they are a big name in K-League circles, so they should have no problem in attracting some big names, like we already touched on in the transfer show we did last time, like Kim Dong-chan. But they also got Adair from Jeonbuk. So
it's a good signing
in the second division.
Great signing.
That's a good signing.
Yeah.
Then Gwangju FC back in the second tier. They host Anyang at home. So obviously they will be looking to get off to a good start, trying to get back into the top tier.
Yeah.
And then the game that I will be going to, that I'm so happy that this team are at home, it's Daejeon Citizen at home to Bucheon. Daejeon had an absolutely disaster of a season last year. They finished bottom of the K-League Challenge, what was in the K-League Challenge.
Yeah.
And they have made a lot of signings. 30 players have come through the door. 30. I mean,
that's astounding.
What the difference being is that last year Daejeon didn't have a reserve team. There is a reserve league in K-League. Daejeon didn't have a team in the reserve league last year, but they've recruited Iki Bum, who is the reserve team or youth team manager. They've recruited a lot of university graduates, which people have remarked that it's too many players. They've got 50 players.
Okay, that's too
in this squad.
I immediately take that back.
Some will be let go, I'm sure, but this will be for the first team and for the second team.
They're trying to start the next division of K-League on their own.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. So obviously I'll be at that one, being a Daejeon supporter. Against a team like Bucheon, who have lost arguably their best player in Waguinho, they brought in Pop.
Yeah, William Pop, who should have noted in the first segment, scored 18 goals the last time he had a full season in Korea.
Yeah, so that's
Good
impressive.
return.
So two teams that got a point to prove. Certainly, Daejeon finishing bottom, and then Bucheon missed out on the playoffs last year, so they want to be. They've been in and around the playoffs for a couple of seasons now. They're perennially. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, especially with the new stadium.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think that might be the reason why they actually don't want to do well this season is because of that purpose-built football stadium, not that big gaping bowl that they play in at the moment.
Which the other thing to note, Busan's back at Gudok. They're not playing at the Asiad, which was one of the World Cup stadiums with a running track, and it's just
massive. It's massive.
So it's nice they're there. And rounding out that weekend...
Yeah, on the Sun. That's all for Saturday. And then on the Sunday, the 4th of March, Suwon FC are at home to Seoul Eland.
Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, Suwon FC, again, another team that we've talked about who have recruited very well over the winter.
They made, for K2, they've won the transfer window for me.
Yeah,
K2.
they've made a lot of good signings. We touched on the player that came
Alex.
From... Alex came
from MLS.
Yeah, we talked about him on the site as well, so if you've got a transfer profile about him, if you want to read about what kind of player he is and what we can expect from him in 2018.
Yeah. Spoke to the Houston Dynamo blogger.
Yeah.
Alicia, I forgot her last name. Anyway.
So yeah, check that out.
Good chat with her.
And then we have Asan versus Ansan.
Always fun.
So we've talked about how well Asan have recruited over the winter. Not by choice, because they kind of just get told who they will be having, I suspect. But they've got quite an impressive midfield. Yeah.
Yes.
Potentially, with Hwang In-bom from Daejeon, Lee Myung-ju and Ju Se-jung both from FC Seoul. That's just to name three off the top of my head.
Three new ones.
They've already got a fairly strong squad as it is anyway. So yeah, that rounds up the opening weekend of fixtures. So yeah, it's I can't wait. I mean,
I think again, K-League did really, really well this year. I think. Lots to look forward to in that first weekend. Those are all available on our site as well. So if you want a team by team breakdown,
yes, we have done that.
We have that on the site, and we're getting a little close to time, so we're gonna do this rapid fire here.
Yes.
So the fixtures are out. We've had time to look at this, and this was Scott Whitelock's idea, who couldn't make it, and I think maybe this is why he didn't want his predictions out there. So we're gonna real quick say where we think teams are gonna be after 10 rounds. So this isn't where they're gonna finish. It's just where they're going to be after 10 rounds, having finally seen the fixtures. And Paul, we will start with you in 12th.
Sangmu, I think I'm going to be 12th after 10 games, just because I don't think that they have enough, and they are away. Yeah, they have a lot of away games in the first half for the first sort of few weeks of the season. Yeah, they're away, and I think that might play to other teams' advantage. I can't see them getting any higher than that.
Nah. For me, it is Incheon United, just because. Who's scoring goals for them? So
no one at the moment.
Yeah. Moving on, in 11th for Paul.
Jeonnam.
We can skip that one.
Sorry about that. Yeah, Jeonnam. I just think after last year they struggled a little bit. They have brought in some players though. I like Wanderson. He's played for Daejeon before. Played for Jeju, for Pohang. But just based on last year, I think 11th. I'm not saying they're going to finish there, but after 10 games,
I don't. Who's going to stop the goals going in?
Yeah.
If my question for Incheon is who's going to score the goals, my goal for Jeonnam is who's going to stop them from going in, because that was the league's worst backline last year.
Yeah.
So, we'll see where that goes. Moving on, in 10th is where you have...
Yeah, my prediction for this is based on their aspirations, because they want to recruit foreign strikers to score the goals for them. They haven't brought any in yet, but apparently they are in talks with some strikers. I think Incheon are going to be perennially in and around this kind of area, like 9th to 12th. But after 10 games, I think 10th.
Yeah. And really good point there that these are our predictions, having seen the schedule with the rosters as they are right now.
Yeah.
And the last time we did a show, which I think was maybe just 2 weeks ago, that was before Jeonbuk had signed Thiago and Adriano. So things can change really quickly. But this is where we think things are going to stand after 10 rounds right now. That's where I have Sangju, because I think they finished strong last year, and I think they're going to keep that cohesion and bring it into this year. And I think they're going to be a better side than they're going to get credit for. They're not going to be a top 6 side, but I think they're going to start pretty strong.
Fair enough.
Coming up in 9th for you.
Yes, I think Gangnam are going to ride the crest of that wave from the promotion last year. They've made some good signings. Kim Shin from Bucheon, who I like, is a bit of a powerhouse. Could be a good foil for Mokang, however you pronounce his name. Sorry, the Hangul on the back of his shirt doesn't lend itself well to how you pronounce it in Portuguese. But anyway, I think they'll do all right this season. They won't get into the top half, I don't think, but certainly after 10 games, if they're ninth, they'll probably be quite happy with that.
I think just based on the team that they had last year, they could have finished about mid-table in last year's K-League Classic. And I think this year, having kept most of that squad and improved it quite a bit, I think they're going to be away from the relegation fight for the most part.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which is why I also have them in ninth.
Great minds think alike and all that.
Yep. So, moving on in 8th, you have Daegu FC.
Yeah, I like Daegu for many reasons, because they're going to build a new purpose-built stadium next year. They have a really nice new set of kits for this year. Yeah. But more importantly, on the field, I just think that with Andre as a manager, I really like him as a coach. He seems like he wants his players to express themselves, play good football. You saw how well those Brazilian front three thrived for Daegu towards the end of last season. They have lost 2 of those players, but they've kept one of them. And I think they'll do all right this year. 8th would be a good kind of... Oh, look at that.
I have them a little higher on mine, so I'll wait to touch on that. In 8th for me, Seoul. Because their schedule... Let me get their schedule up here real quick, because Seoul's first 10 games are tough, and also, just like last year with FC Seoul, where are the goals going to come from? 2 years in a row, they've sold their top scorer. And their season goes Jeju, Gangwon, Jeonbuk, Incheon, Suwon, Pohang, Ulsan, Daegu. Was that 10? I don't know. Anyway.
It's tough.
It's a really tough way to start. And there are just more question marks surrounding this team than there are answers at this moment. I'm not saying they're going to finish here, but...
so after 10 games...
After 10 games.
And they're in 8th, does Hwang go?
No, because I think the front office is really tied to Hwang. And I think they believe in his what's clearly a vision of going younger and becoming kind of a feeder club, I guess. I don't know. I like the youth movement. I always say play your kids, but I don't think now is the time to hand over the reins to the youth players that they have without
experience to guide them.
Yeah, when Park Chu-young is the one leading the attacking line, who... You know what? It's a whole thing. We'll go into it another time.
Yes.
This is rapid fire. Anyway, I don't think Seoul is going to start the season strong.
Fair enough.
Moving up to 7th.
Yeah, I've got Gangwon in 7th because, to me, this is 7th and then rising. It's not like they're falling to 7th. I just think that they have, as of this moment in time, kept some of their stronger Korean players. And they brought in, as we said before, Dylan McGowan at the back. I think they're going to have a decent season. I mean...
They were good last year.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they finished 6th. They got into the top half of the split, then kind of didn't give up, but they were uninspiring after the split. But yeah, Gangwon in 7th after 10 games. That would be quite good, I think.
Definitely. That's where I think Daegu is going to be. I've got them just one spot higher than you had them, because very similar. I like Brazilian manager Andre's style, because he has his players go for it. It would have been so easy last year to shell up, play for the draws, play it safe, avoid relegation. But they got themselves out of that relegation scrap by playing attacking football, and I think they're going to do it again this year. And I think they're going to be a fun team to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Moving into the top 6.
I've got Seoul here. I don't think they're going to be as bad as 8th. Or do I? I don't know. I think Seoul... By the way,
we've got somebody watching in LA, so hey, thanks for tuning in.
It's a bit warmer in LA than it is here.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about the temperature difference.
My decision-making in putting Seoul 6th here is not because of their merit, it's because of perhaps other teams aren't quite as strong as them. Even with the outgoings that they've lost, FC Seoul, it's not so much that they are earning this, it's that other teams aren't quite as strong. Or
who's in their midfield? Other than a gaping black hole. Anyway, we'll talk about it. We're going to do full-on season previews at some point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked to see them there. I just don't think that they've quite got it in them. Which is why I've got the top 6 starting with Pohang Steelers for me. I think last year they technically finished in 7th, but they had more points than Gangwon, who finished in 6th. So they were a top 6 club by most metrics last year.
Yeah. They began to play when the pressure was off last year.
Yeah.
Which it would be frustrating for a Pohang supporter.
Yeah.
But it just shows that, I mean, obviously the squad has changed a lot again, even from last season. But it just shows that there's a little bit of mental fragility.
Yeah.
But reasons to be positive, because surely the core of the Korean players have stayed. One of the best players has gone to Jeonbuk, as we know. But yeah, they're a good club. They've been very busy in the transfer window. 6 would be good, but as you'll see soon, I have predicted them to be slightly higher in 5th.
Yeah.
Pohang will be annoyed with themselves for last year, because they were actually in the conversation for the title and at least ATL qualification earlier on in the campaign. They fell away a little bit.
Certainly should have been in the ACL conversation.
Yeah.
Which if you don't know, it's top 3 guaranteed, 4 usually.
Yeah. A club like Pohang, who has a rich history in the ACL, they have 3 wins. They are the most successful Korean club in the ACL. And yeah, 5th will be an improvement on last year, obviously, after 10 games. And when you get to this point in time and you've got 10 games in, you're already in 5th, it's something to build on. So I think, Pohang will be good this year. I'm expecting 5th.
I've got Gangwon in that spot, because I think Gangwon last year was one of the more interesting attacking sides, and they were just terrible defensively, but they've made some moves to shore up that back line. They're going to have a little bit more consistency with where they're playing. Last year it was really cool playing at a ski jump stadium, but it was difficult to get to, and I think it may have thrown the players off a little bit sometimes as well, because they did not play very well at home. This year they're going to be more centrally located, I believe, in Chuncheon.
Yeah.
They're going to be playing at a civic stadium there, right on the river. It looks like a nice spot. It'd be a good away day. But I just think that they've improved enough to stay in the top 6 and improve a little bit. Coming into the ACL spots, Paul, you have...
Yes, Jeju, who I'll be covering in the ACL this year. I'm a bit worried about Jeju, because they haven't recruited that many players yet. They've lost a couple of their foreign stars, like Mendy's left, and they haven't really... They've brought in two foreign players so far, but they're unproven in the K-League. We don't know. They might turn out to be really good. Some teams in the K-League have a real knack of scouting good Brazilians or good foreign players. It's at the moment in time I can't comment on how well they're going to do, but they haven't added many more since. Certainly top players or players that are going to improve their first 11. Yeah. So 4th, just because they haven't lost that many of their core, but they haven't built on it that much. So 4th.
Go get Michael Essien.
Who knows?
4th, I've got Ulsan holding down the spot that they had last year. I think Ulsan's got a really strong squad. They've made improvements, but the top 3, which we'll get to, which you might already know who it's going to be, I think are just stronger than Ulsan. But you happen to disagree.
I think Ulsan have recruited well, and they are among the 3 teams that... Well, not 3 teams. A few teams have recruited well, in my opinion, like Pohang. But they have, in terms of teams that are going to have title aspirations, genuine title aspirations, they are in the top 3 in terms of how well they've recruited. They brought in some good players, some smart signings. As we said earlier, they brought in Junior from Daegu, and yeah, I just think they've built on what they had last year, which was already a pretty solid squad. Yeah, lacking a little bit of attacking prowess. But yeah, I think that's why I put them in 3rd.
Yeah. We're swapped there. I think Jeju's going to be pretty strong. I think they always have a nice home field advantage in the early goings of the season. They just hold down that fortress a little bit better. Yeah. And I think, like you said, they haven't made a lot of moves in the transfer window, so that's a core that they know each other. All right, moving up into the top 2, you're going to be shocked.
You're going to get, this is going to be obvious. Yeah,
it's
Suwon.
The Suwon Samsung Blue Wings for both of us.
Yeah, just because they will have improved on last year with the squad that they've now starting to assemble, and I think they've just got a better squad than anybody else below them. They're the best of the rest, basically. Yeah.
Which leads to the league winners, even though we haven't been able to crown them yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've talked quite a bit about Jeonbuk and why they're going to be at the top of the table. It's depth, it's strong signings. We had a couple of questions come in there.
More comments. Our friend over in Los Angeles just remarking that it's good that Gangwon are back in Chuncheon. Yeah, it's a bit of a trek going over to the Alpensia up in Pyeongchang.
Nice ad for the Olympics. A cool place, but I think as far as day-to-day operations for the club go, I think they'll be a lot happier this year.
It was a nice gimmick. Whether they should have been there for the whole season, I don't know.
Well, and that field was awful
to
start the first 2 or 3 months of the season. I've played on better pitches, and I don't play at a high level.
Neither do I. But this is an interesting question from our very own Scott Whitelock from his hospital bed. If Chair Kang-hee and So switched clubs, could Suwon win the league?
If they switched?
Yeah, if they switched managers. So if So Jang-won went to Jeonbuk Hyundai, Chair Kang-hee went to Suwon Blue Wings, could Suwon win the league? This is a good question.
Yeah.
You think so?
I do.
You think he's
I think he is, and Matthew Binns, our Jeonbuk columnist / editor, he might disagree with this. I think he does a good job of player management. I think his roster rotations can be maddening at times, but he is someone that rotates the roster enough to get minutes. Sometimes too much, but I think he's better at building depth. And again, to come back to the fighting on 3 fronts, I think you have to have depth, and I think he would develop that a little bit better.
I think he's one of his strengths is maintaining standards.
Yeah,
he sets standards for his players, and which would probably suggest why he changes the team round enough, right, is the fact that if players aren't performing to a level that he expects them to do, then you're out the team, and you bring somebody else in just as capable to go in and play in the system that his players are all very familiar with. So I mean, it's a good question. In an alternate reality, I'd love to see it happen. Yeah, I'd love to see it. Well, we've already seen Daean go from Seoul to Suwon, so who knows?
Who knows?
Could happen.
Stranger things could happen.
Yeah.
Speaking of Suwon, real quick, just want to touch on the fact that they are playing in the AFC Champions League playoff, the final round against
Tan Hoa.
Nailed it.
From Vietnam. Yeah. So Vietnam team there, they beat Eastern. Yes. In the previous playoff game, they won 4-2 at Eastern. They came from behind, went 1-0 down, then equalised from the penalty spot. Bit of a dubious penalty, some say. But they came back and ended up leading 3-1. And then Eastern got a penalty of their own. Again, a bit dubious. If you watch the highlights, you might agree. But then they put the game to bed and won 4-2 in the end. And there's, I'm sure we'll go into all this in another time, in another place. But yeah, they look like a team that could cause Suwon some problems, especially given that they won't have Matthew German
as the centre back. Right?
Yeah.
2 things to note here real quick. The winner of this match, we're finally into the last rounds of these playoffs. The winner is going to go on into a group with Sydney FC, Kashima Antlers, and Shanghai Shenhua, which...
That's a strong group.
That's a tough group.
Yes, it is.
So the winner gets to win that honor. We'll see how that goes. Scott Whitelock is going to have a preview up on the site, and we're going to be there Tuesday in person. So if you're into that, you can watch us freezing our little tukuses off.
And actually, I checked the weather report earlier from 2 sources, BBC and AccuWeather, and it reckons it's going to be only around -3 at around 8-9 o'clock. So if you are in the Gyeonggi-do area,
these are super thick, and they're not thick. They'll be very nice in the summer, though.
Yeah. Get stuff there.
Yeah. So moving on to the reason that I think a few of you are watching anyway.
Yes.
We got to get out the door because the tournament starts in a little over an hour.
Yeah.
We have our monthly FIFA 18 tournament. We have 16 teams in here, and we are going to be drawing the groups right now. And Paul is very diligent and is going to write them down to save this brain some time. So, do we have the team list? Here we go. I got the team list ready. Let's run down the teams that are in this tournament. So, unlike previous tournaments where we've had it as only K-League clubs, and then for a little while no 5-star teams, we've loosened all the restrictions. So these are any club that anybody in the world wants to be. So we have Juventus, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Belgium, Paris Saint-Germain, Portugal, Atletico Madrid, the French national team, Manchester City, Benfica,
That's me.
Real Madrid, Barcelona, the Spanish national team, the Argentinian national team, Manchester United, and Tottenham Hotspur.
Okay.
So, whew,
Right.
that'll be
Let's do it.
yeah, that'll be quite the showdown there. All right, so starting with Group A.
Okay. In Group A, we will have Marcus Plona, who will be playing as Barcelona.
Oh, all right. Barca's in Group A. The first team in Group B will be Jan playing as the Tottenham Hotspur.
Give that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll put them on the group. There we
Yep.
go. Like this. Very organised. Better than FIFA. This, not FIFA. The game. Yeah. Never mind.
We don't have the little
But we should have those.
Yeah.
We should go to a local pet shop and get some
well worth.
goldfish balls.
If you buy a kit, you can help us get those resources.
Good friend of the site, Che Jae-min, who will be playing as Juventus.
Starting out Group C.
Group C.
First team in Group D will be former champion Pete Maselli playing as the Belgian national team. So there's a team in each group. Group A's second team.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. And we have Florian, who will be playing as Argentina.
Ooh. Argentina and Barcelona in the same group.
Yeah.
Hope I don't get drawn into that one.
Messi versus Messi.
Yeah. Group B's second team.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be former champion Yuke playing as the French national team, but I will be taking his place and playing as the Jeonnam. No, I'm not going to play as the Dragons.
All right, there we go.
I will be in Group B. So
Get well soon, you kid.
So Jan, who was in there with Tottenham, you just got a nice boon there.
Right, here we go. And the second team to go into Group C is David with the Spanish national team.
All right. Group D's second team joining Pete as Belgium is Paul Neat playing as Benfica.
Yeah, Benfica. I want to tell you, I went to a Benfica game once. That's why I chose Benfica.
Oh.
The Stadium of Light, or the Estadio de Luz.
Was it nice?
It was superb, yeah.
Bet it was. All right. Group A joining Barcelona and Argentina. We have Real Madrid. Real Madrid, played by Marcus. So we.
Group A is a group of, oh my goodness.
Group A is definitely. I don't care who the fourth team is. The group of death. So good luck to you in Group A.
Okay, and the third entrant into Group B is Jean, who will be playing as Bayern Munich.
Ooh.
So Tottenham Hotspur, the French national team, and Bayern Munich.
Won't be the French national team because I suck playing as them, so I'm not going to do that. Group C.
Yes.
Have I been drawing? I've been drawing Group C. No, you've been drawing Group C.
I'm in Group D with Pete.
Yeah, whatever.
Who's
I don't know how we messed this up.
Pete's a very good player with FIFA, and I'm a bit worried about that.
All right, Group C joining Juventus and Spain. We have Jaime Wegu, who I think is watching right now, playing as Chelsea.
Yeah.
So, Jaime, you're in Group C along with Juventus and Spain.
I believe he chose Chelsea last time as well.
I think
Is
so.
that right? Yeah.
Yeah. Must be nice to be a fan of a team that's 5 stars on FIFA.
I couldn't imagine it.
I wouldn't know.
I couldn't imagine it. All right, now then. So the third team in Group D will be Louis. Sorry to pronounce that wrong. With Paris Saint-Germain.
Shaping up to be a good group. All right, Group A. Go ahead.
All right, Group A. So to finish off Group A, we have Amir, who will be playing as Manchester United.
So Group A, running down that again. Group A is Barcelona, the Argentinian national team, Real Madrid, and Manchester United. And one person gets out of that group. Good luck!
Yeah.
All right, Group B,
Yeah.
rounding out Group B, we have Tottenham Hotspur, the French national team, Bayern Munich, and Samba playing as the Portuguese national team.
Very good. Thank you.
All right, Group C, rounding it out.
Yeah. Okay, the final team in Group C will be Julian, who will be playing as Manchester City.
So Manchester City joins Chelsea, the Spanish national team, and Juventus in Group C. And Group D, rounding things out,
In my group,
we have Alex, who will be playing as Atletico Madrid.
Ooh.
So we have Atleti joining PSG, Benfica, and the Belgian national team. So, for those of you that aren't in Group A, congratulations. For those of you that are in Group A, Good luck.
For those of you in Group D, then you've got 3 points against me, basically.
So we'll take a picture of this. We'll post it in the Facebook event if you're in there and you didn't get all of these run down. And we will be at Retro Game Bar in about an hour. So if you want to stop by, maybe pick up one of these kits, buy a drink, play some video games, we'll be there. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything else, we can touch on those in the next show. Was there anything else that came in on Facebook before we get out of here?
There was not really, but there was a call for Pex Voller, who are my Dutch team. I didn't choose Peck because they're not a 5-star team. Actually, are Benfica 5-star? I'm not sure they are.
We'll find out.
But I'm not a 5-star player, so it doesn't matter who I would play as. You could take you could tape over the shoot button on the other person's controller, and they'll still beat me.
He's not. Yeah.
No, I am not.
We'll see. Anyway, so we're gonna head over to Retro Game Bar. We're going to get this tournament running.
Yeah, we need to go.
Yeah, we need to go. So we'll be back on Tuesday live from Big Bird, where it's gonna be super warm, and we're gonna talk about ACL. So we'll see you soon. Thanks so much for watching.
Ciao. Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, don't forget to like the video and click here to subscribe. Kim Jin Soo wants you to.